right, good afternoon and welcome to the last session of our NCAA Women's Basketball Press Conference of the College Park Regional. We are joined by Delaware student athletes Paris McBride, Jasmine Dickey, and Lizzie O'Leary. Should you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll be sure to get a microphone to you. We'll have you state your name and affiliation. If you're joining us on Zoom and have a question, please use the raise hand function and we will go to you. So we'll start with questions in the room. Anyone have a question in the room, please raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. We'll go to Noah in the second row.
Just for any of you to answer, but just what are your thoughts on coming here and sort of playing a road game right away against a team like Maryland? I'm sure you're familiar with some of what they've accomplished over the years.
Jasmine, you start.
Just continuing to play Delaware basketball. We got here with our defense and, making shots and just working together overall. So just making sure we stick to our formula and, playing basketball.
Lizzie, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think Jasmine got it on the dot. Like, we're going to continue to play the way that we want to play, even against a great team like Maryland. And we're going to come in tomorrow and just, play Delaware basketball.
All right, we have a question on Zoom from Alex Phillipson. Alex, your line is open. Go ahead.
Okay. This question goes out to Jasmine. Jasmine, with your time as a Blue Hen soon coming to an end, with you declaring for the WNBA draft, can you describe how your time has been with the Blue Hens over the past 4 years? What will you miss most about Delaware, and what are your fondest memories there?
My time here has been amazing, honestly. I've gained sisters, obviously. Coaches have been great. We got a CAA championship, so that's always good. And we still got more basketball to play. So, even though it's coming to an end, we still play Friday, and we're hoping to survive and advance, and that's just the main focus right now.
All right, we'll go in the room in the middle. Gabe?
Gabe Ebring from Her Stats. Jasmine, I just wanted to know about the timing of announcing for the draft. I know some players have said in the past like they want to do it to kind of focus themselves and motivate themselves before the postseason. Is that the same thing for you?
Not necessarily motivation. It's just I wanted to get a championship, and that was the main focus, getting a CAA championship, and then declaring and then, playing more basketball. So it wasn't really a sequence in that.
Yeah. And then for all three of you, I was just wondering, in your prep for Maryland, what has really stood out about the challenge of defending them?
Paris, you start.
Well, Maryland, they're a good basketball team, and they're long and lengthy. So we just have to focus in on preventing them from rebounding and running in transition and just pushing the ball up the floor. I mean, on defensive end, we're just gonna lock in. We want to play Delaware basketball, and a part of Delaware basketball is playing defense. So anything we have to do on defense end, we're going to get it done.
Liz, do you have anything to add about that?
Yeah, I think with any team you have to make adjustments. You can't stick to the same goal plan because every team's different. So we're just going to make the necessary adjustments we have to and then go in and just lock up.
We'll go all the way on the left-hand side.
How do you guys simulate the length and the size that you alluded to with this Maryland team? Because that's obviously as big a team as you'll face all year long. How did you prepare for that?
Jasmine, you take that?
Being long. I mean, using our arms. I mean, that's the best imitation we have. And just trying to prepare ourselves with each other as best as we can. So yeah, that's mostly it.
Any other questions from within the room? We'll take one on the left side.
So in the NCAA tournament, teams are flying all over the country, but you three have actually played in this building. Does that familiarity for you give you any sense of a difference when you're seeing teams going all over the place, but you get to play somewhere that you've already played?
Lizzie, you take that one?
I think it's nice being able to play somewhere that you've already played, and we do have that familiarity, and it's kind of just it's like another game here. It's we're obviously so happy to be here and be at March Madness, but we're just going to take it like another game. So that kind of helps that we've already been here before. Paris,
anything to add about that?
I would agree with Lizzie, but I think a bigger factor is it's up the street, so we have fans coming in, and a lot of people on our team from this area. So there's more fans coming in, and it'd be a better atmosphere for Delaware basketball.
Any other questions within the room here? We'll take one from Gabe in the middle.
So at Paris, you mentioned that you didn't want them rebounding and running. I know you guys are really focused on getting offensive boards. Some of you guys have done better than pretty much everyone in the country. Do you have to change your mentality on it? Any of you guys can answer, but do you have to change your mentality at all, your schemes, to make sure you're not letting up transition opportunities while still hitting the glass?
I think overall it's just about sticking to what we know. We don't have to necessarily change anything. Like Lizzie said, it's just tweaking it a little bit to make sure that we're doing the necessary things in order to win the game. But sticking overall to Delaware basketball, we rebound, we run, we score, and all that. So sticking to that formula and just making sure that, that sustains throughout the game.
Paris, anything to add about that?
No, Jasmine pretty much got it
All
all.
right, that's fine. I think yeah. All right, we'll go over on the left-hand side again.
Can you walk me through the process of this week, coming down from the high of the championship and getting focused back on, obviously, the unfinished business at hand?
I think it's definitely a quick turnaround, and we've been in quick turnarounds before, but never at this level. So I think we're kind of trying to just take it day by day and just we're still celebrating our win, but also remembering we have another team to play. We have more basketball to play, so we just have to keep focused on that too.
All right, we'll go back to Gabe in the middle.
Don't want to keep you guys, but Jasmine, I just wanted to know, you're going to be on a bigger stage than you have been throughout the year. You're going into the WNBA draft. What do you want people to take away from who you are as a player, and what do you hope scouts see in this?
Well, this game it's not like a personal thing for me. It's just about playing with my teammates and having another game to play. So that's the main thing. I'm gonna work hard, of course, to get the dub, of course, but just overall, just trying to win the game for my teammates and I, and trying to advance.
All right. Thank you, guys. You can head back to the locker room and have a good practice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be joined by Coach shortly. All right, we are joined by Delaware head coach Natasha Adair. We'll start with questions in the room, but if you have a question on Zoom, also please put your hand up. So questions in the room, please raise your hand and we'll get a mic to you. We'll start with Kareem Copeland in the back corner.
Hey, Kareem Copeland from Washington Post.
Yes, hey, Kareem.
Easy one. What makes Jasmine unique?
The easy one. Oh gosh, how long do I have? The first thing about her is just her work ethic, right? When you say Jasmine, that's a person, a player that's committed to working. And when we saw her, when we recruited her, it was just about needing that toughness, that grit, someone that was going to come every day and give 110%. And she does. But what else makes her so special is that she makes other people around her better. So many people talk about Jasmine. She wants to talk about her teammates. She wants to talk about our program. And just so selfless. For her to be such a stellar player, student athlete, she's a good teammate. She's a good friend. And so as a coach, she's a coach's dream. She's a coach's dream.
All right, we'll go in the back middle. Gabe.
Hey, Coach. Gabe Ebery from Herb Stats.
Gabe.
So your players are in here. They kind of mentioned that you're trying to limit their transition opportunities. And Maryland's obviously a great transition team, but you guys do a really good job crashing the offensive glass.
We sure do.
Do you feel like those two things are in conflict? And if you do, how have you tried to manage that in practice this week?
Well, not as much. I mean, the biggest thing is ball security, right? You limit them in transition by valuing the possession. And so we have to make sure that we control the tempo, we dictate the pace, because again, if they're taking the ball out of the net, meaning we execute it into a good shot, it's hard for them to run. And then with ball security, you can't let them speed you up, right? So we have to make sure we have really good clock management. We don't want a quick shot. We want to make sure we execute. So it's more about us valuing the possession that will limit their transition opportunities.
Go back to Kareem in the back left.
I'm curious, what's this week like for you? This is your old stomping ground.
Well, I'm home, and it's nothing like being home, but so are, half of our team, if you will. We have so many players from the DMV area. So it's surreal, right? It hasn't hit me yet. I'm sure it will tomorrow when we see, all of our family and friends. But it's great being home, but it's also great being a Blue Hen because we're going to have fans that travel and come support us. And that's the beauty about our program. It's a one-team mindset. Everyone's rooting for us as well. But to be back in my hometown where, again, I'm no stranger to this place, this building, or even this area, it's really exciting to be back home.
Sorry, just a quick follow-up on
No
that same
worries.
thing. How much does that help? You're familiar, like you said, you're familiar with the area. You're going to be familiar. You're familiar with this Maryland program.
Right.
Is that a little bit? Is that better than just some random team that from somewhere else in the country that you wouldn't have necessarily the background knowledge of?
Correct. Absolutely. And I think just our players are as familiar. They've grown up playing on the same AAU teams, playing in the same, high school teams or whatever type of kind of sporting event. They know a lot of the players on the team. They're friends with them. And so it takes a little bit of that edge off, if you will, or that, just uncertainty. And it's comfort. So again, they're like, oh, you know what? I know this person. I know that person. So just whatever tension or anxiety that you would have around this type of game, that goes away when you have that familiarity with them. Mm-hmm.
Any other questions in the room? Go on the left-hand side.
Coach, you guys were one of the last conference championship games. Relatively quick turnaround
Yes.
from coming off the high of the accomplishment to the incredible challenge of playing in Maryland. What has the last week been like for you, and how do you let the players celebrate,
Yeah.
but also get them back focused on the
Focused.
task at hand?
Well, again, it was a quick turnaround. But you enjoy every moment. Every day there's a moment where we reflect. But we also, that helps us prepare. We talk about the journey, through our conference tournament to become champions, but what it took to get there. And we talk about our formula, defending, rebounding, running in transition, and scoring. And so where we still go back and reflect, we use that, as motivation and preparation for what we need to do next. Maryland is the next opponent. But the formula doesn't change. Obviously, the strategy does, a little bit. But we're going to play Delaware basketball. And as much as we,
thrive in that moment and reflect on it, we're not done yet. And so we'll celebrate wholeheartedly, when we're done and we're cutting down the nets again. But right now, it's back to business.
We'll open up to Alex on the Zoom. Alex, your line is open. Alex, can you hear me? All right, we'll see if there's. Oh,
Sorry about that.
go ahead.
Coach, this is kind of just building off of the first question that was asked at the conference. You've known Jasmine Dickey throughout her 4 years as a Blue Hen.
Yes.
Can you describe the bond that you two have shared over the years and how you have seen Jasmine grow over the years and matured into becoming a potential WNBA player?
Well, for sure, I think she definitely should have her name called, April 11th in that WNBA draft. But, watching her grow, recruiting her, she was already, a winner, competitor, great teammate. But watching her develop over these years into a leader, taking her game to become now a triple threat. But watching her work on and off the court as a great ambassador to our university, to our community, to our program, she's really worked at that. She's worked at being just that leader, but not by work, but not by example, but more of a vocal leader, being able to get the best out of all of her teammates. And so just watching her mature day in and day out, it just, as a coach, they're all like my children. But I'm proud. I'm proud of her growth. I'm proud of her development, but most importantly, her leadership and how she's really taken on that role as being the example, is leading her teammates and making sure she makes everyone around her better.
We'll go back to Gabe in the middle of the room, right side.
Coach, all the questions have been about Jasmine. I just want to know,
It's okay.
No, I just want, who else should fans or other teams be watching in tomorrow's game? If you had to pick one player to talk about, who else is going to get that shot? You can pick as many.
Oh,
as
you
want.
know I
You're in
am.
charge.
You know I am. I'm going to start with our floor general, Paris McBride. We're not here without Paris. Paris is a leader. She's a coach on the floor, someone who was selected to the WBCA, so you want to be a coach program because, again, that's something that she may do in the future. She just has the it factor when it comes to leadership. Really good at making decisions, on-court decisions, but knows how to really get the best out of her sisters. And then you go Ty Battle. She's a walking double-double. I don't think we talk about her enough. 23, 24 double-doubles on the season, top in the country right now in double-doubles. But she's just missed consistency. Great teammate as well. Lizzie O'Leary. Lizzie was the foundation when I stepped on campus. And it may not show up in the box score, but it shows up in just, she's everywhere she needs to be in the right place at the right time. We call her the brick wall because, again, she just anchors up for us inside, but really has accepted her role. But another really good leader on our team. We have a lot of phenomenal leaders on our team. And then one you're going to hear about for years to come, it's Ty Skinner. She's a local DMV native, but they call her Showtime. She's fearless. She might be 5'5", but she's 6'5" with her heart and her effort and her competitiveness. But I could go through each person on the team. But we are led, we are led by all of them, but our veterans really have earned this right and worked so hard to be the leaders that they are for this program. And we are successful because of their leadership.
Go on the left-hand side in the middle.
For the CAA championship, it was a great atmosphere. It was loud.
Yes.
But the fan base was pretty split 50-50, at least it sounded like. How do you prepare the team for a hostile environment? Maryland has a big fan base. So when reality sets in and the ball's tipped and this is a hostile environment with a lot of people, how do you prepare the players who may not have played on this, obviously on this stage, but even in such a large filled arena?
Well, again, we're here, right? And you have to be ready for these big moments. The one thing that we do, and we revisit last year in the postseason. And in the postseason, we went up against a lot of teams, and we were on the road. We weren't the home team, and so there were fans. There was the environment. There were the stakes that were online, and so I think it's just keeping them focused and keeping them dialed in. That we said when we're going to win a championship, we're going to win it on the road, and we've already done one. You know, and so in this environment, they have done such a phenomenal job of just kind of staying focused and staying together. But we'll use some of that momentum. We'll use some of that energy and kind of transfer it to our own team and to what we have going on the court. But they really don't get distracted by that. They really stay focused. And I will go back to the leadership, the veteran leadership. You know, I don't know how many people saw that championship game or even the game before, but you watch them kind of come back together and huddle together and kind of take that deep breath moment just to get back to center and refocus. And so this is a group that's not going to get too high or too low. They're just going to stay really dialed in to you know, just the focus that they need to have for the game.
Any other questions? Okay, Coach.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good practice.
All right. Thank you all.